Morning. So last week I announced that yes, I was in fact selling some of the cars. And while I was editing that video, I was really putting a lot of thought into this, and I was, it's really good for the money. Get off from some car loans, get a really badass car in return. And then I realized I'm an idiot. That's right, I couldn't do it. So I was getting decent trade values for some of them, not so decent for others. And I had this deal lined up, as you guys saw in the last video, for a Bentley, what was it, an Edition 8. And it would have taken all 4 or 5 or however many vehicles I wanted to trade. Would have got rid of some debt, but in the long run, it would have been a very poor decision because you guys made some comments too. This isn't easy to get. These aren't cars you can just go to a dealership and find on the lot anymore. You can't replace these as well as you could, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. So combine that with yeah, there would have been a cost savings for me every month. At what cost exactly besides financial? Would have been losing all these cars. As I was editing that video last week, just like, what am I doing? They're cars, yeah, but they're more than just cars to me, I guess. That sounds a little weird, I'm sure, but I mean, it's more than just a car in a sense that it's kind of an achievement of what I've accomplished in life, and these things represent that for me. Plus, they're really fun to drive and clean and have. They're all put away, tucked in, back on charger, as they should. I actually have some plans for the ZL1. I wanted to get a 1LE. If you guys followed previous videos, I had a allocation for one from a local dealership. They said, yeah, it's happening. Here's a deposit. Great. Actually, no, they didn't even ask for a deposit. Maybe that's why it didn't happen. But I had a gray one, pretty similar color to the M4, which is a skyscraper gray. I think it was called Shark Gray. Does that sound right? That's a GM color, right? That's a Corvette color. Anyway, it was going to be a gray ZL1 1LE and have those, those dive planes and the big splitter and the big wing and stuff like that. They came out, they decided to basically halt production on that GM, I'm talking about a Chevy, because they wanted to get this final edition type, matte black with a big wing. Basically, it's a 1LE that was a final edition, special edition, if you will. And that took, from what I understand, all the allocated slots for just a normal ZL1 1LE that people wanted to build, including mine. So I had to I had to find one quickly because they were going away. And I found this from another local dealership. But I have plans, I think I have plans to sort of convert this into a a 1LE. I don't know. I'm sure people have done that, right? Taken a ZL1 and added 1LE parts. I believe that it would remove those daytime running lights. I think the splitter will become a matte black, not this carbon flash. Same thing with the grill. I think the grill is different on the 1LE. You guys might know more than I do. Actually, maybe it's the same. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's different. I think it's a matte black. Same thing with the splitter. I think these side splitters too, but I want to say I thought I read those are not as easily removable as like others where they're just bolted on. I think that's part of the frame. I could be wrong. What would this be called? Like an engine cover, I guess, and carbon fiber. And then the big ticket item, ungodly expensive, and there are aftermarket versions which are like a fourth of the cost. The 1LE wing, it's like several $1,000s, and those are pretty hard to find because again, all of those got taken for those special edition, final edition type 1LEs or ZL1s. Anyway, thinking about doing that, just kind of hype this thing up a little bit. I think it'd be kind of cool. I'm not really looking forward to cutting into the bumper for those dive planes, but I mean, those things look cool. Plus, I'm sure it'll turn out fine if I have someone else do it or if I'm really careful. Never been a fan of the carbon flash. So, the muscle cars are staying. What's not staying, however, I don't know if you guys saw my short that I posted last week. The Hummer EV is no longer in sight. Where is it? It's in a snowbank at a local GMC dealership because that thing, I'll insert a video here. Goddamn EVs. So I was getting no response from my app to remote start this. So I came out to manually start it, and this wasn't even on. This was all dim like it is right now. It's not even that cold out. Everything should be turning on right now, but if I cycle through this, look at all these warnings I'm getting right now. And granted, this is covered under warranty, I'm sure. But I am stuck. I won't even go into gear. Headlights won't turn on. I can do the lights manually, maybe not. She's just stuck. Piece of shit! For whatever reason, I mean, it's cold today. Ooh, it's warmed up actually since I woke up. What do we got now? -7. When I woke up this morning, it was -15. So we're in kind of the frozen tundra era of winter here in Minnesota. But it wasn't because of the cold. It was like maybe 27, 28 degrees out that day. And for whatever reason, you guys see the video, it just would not function properly. I went out, I remote start my car, the Hummer, every day with the app. Just push a button, it'll stay running for an hour if you wanted to at whatever temperature you put it at. It's really great. And I went to go do that, and I got a failed notification. So I was like, well, that's kind of weird. Did it a second time, failed notification. Did it on my key fob. There's a remote start you can do on that too. And no response. I hit the lock, unlock, lights turned on, so great. She's not dead. She's at about 45% battery at this point. I went out there to manually start it, and it was just nothing. I got a very dim light on the dash and the screen, and I pressed and held the power button on the radio, and things kind of woke up that way. Air turned on, lights turned on, and then out flashed 14 maybe, 14, 15, 16 warning lights, failure or service this, service that, service this, and it would not fully turn on. I couldn't put it in drive, reverse, I couldn't do anything. So I'll insert another video here. Yeah, drag the bastard. So she got towed to my local GMC dealership where they shoved her into a snowbank and have her on charge, thinking that might be the issue. But I think it just needs, I mean, it's essentially a computer on wheels, right? It's not, it's not an alternator or a fuel pump or anything like that. You have to troubleshoot. It's either on or it's off. You have circuits that turn on and they turn off. Something happened with that thing while I was at work. Who knows what happened? So what I was gonna do is trade it for a white Hummer EV. And I really like the Hummer. It's an awesome vehicle to drive. It's robust. It's like a big giant taco truck. The inside is nice and durable, for the kids and stuff. The dealership that has it was not cooperating with me on a trade value. We came up, I said in the last video, once in a while I quote my cars, what's this worth? What can I trade it for? What's the value of it? And I wanted to get a white Hummer EV probably like 5 months ago, 6 months ago. and they offered me like $76,000 for this vehicle. I was like, well, that's nuts. Why would I do that? So obviously I didn't do it. Now they're offering me $80,000 for the Hummer as is. 4 months, probably about 1,000 miles later. So I was like, great, let's do it. Let's get the white Hummer EV. They have one coming in middle of February. Let's put my name on it. Let's send it. But they were not cooperating with me on a pre-trade option. Now what that means is that I've done this before, right? So I think it was on like maybe the 992 Turbo S, or no, something. Maybe my last one. You can take these cars. Like I had just a normal Hellcat probably about 4 years ago. I pre-traded that in on my last 992 Turbo S. What that means is, again, is you give them the car, they pay off your note, and it's worth what it is at the time of trading versus potentially a loss, 5, 6, 7 months down the road when the 992 finally came in. So you pre-trade it. I keep going on and on about this. You pre-trade it. Essentially, you don't get the money for that, but that you could credit for that. Does that make sense? So let's say I got 80 grand for this. I'd pre-trade it. I'd have 80 grand trade value towards the new car, and that would save taxes. That would save monthly payments on this. But the dealership, the GMC dealership, was not willing to do that. And they've never done that. They were kind of confused. I tried going there yesterday and talking it over, and I talked with one of the sales managers, and it's just something that they don't do. I don't know if it was that particular family of dealerships or what, but could not come to terms. So in the meantime, of course, I'm negotiating with several places: Mercedes, Porsche, BMW, all these, Audi, all these high-end places. So where can I find a home for that Hummer, and what can I have as a replacement daily driver? So while I was at the GMC dealer, obviously this was not going the way I wanted it to. I was negotiating with another dealership locally, and I made a deal. So the Hummers, I haven't signed anything yet, but I have signed something, just not the title. There's a deal that is done. Hummer is gone. A replacement vehicle is coming in. Should be here, he said, between 2 and 4 weeks. It's already built. I was going to build one, but the one that I designed, there's basically an identical version, just a slight tweak difference available that's on the train going to Texas right now, Texas port. And so we snagged it. I'll be here in 2 to 4 weeks, and it is a vehicle that is not necessarily new to the stable. I've had one before. I liked it so much that I did end up, kind of like the Challenger, I did end up keeping the WeatherTech mats that I had for it, because I knew one day I'd possibly get another one. So that day is now here, and that, again, stay tuned for that video maybe in a month or so. Speaking of new cars coming in, you guys saw in the previous video, the McLaren is gone. That yellow Artura is gone. Went to Vegas for CES 2 weeks ago and went to a dealership there. Found something that piqued Pa's interest. It is I'm not going to say too much, but it is a suitable replacement for the 488 that we sold, that we regret selling. This thing will be just as badass, if not even more badass than that, so stay tuned for that as well. Okay, I'll stop rambling. Today I do need to get a vehicle cleaned and polished. What time is it? 10 after 11. I have Solar Shield set to come here again and do some clear wrapping for us. The C5 needs to be wrapped. But I mean, that car is not worth, if I wrap it, the wrap would be worth like a third of the car. So I hesitate on doing a full wrap on something like that, and maybe just drive it and enjoy it and then sell it in a couple of years. Maybe that's what I'll do instead of wrapping it. I'll probably do that. Let's be honest, I'll probably wrap it. Pa has this 95, I think, Corvette in the mini box that we got, and I haven't touched it. I haven't washed it. I haven't really inspected it. There's a few flaws on there that I did see at the time of delivery. I'm gonna try to polish it out, and maybe we'll have that guy get wrapped this week. Yeah, we'll do that. But in order to get that out, I gotta move cars, and it's freezing outside. Maybe I'll push Solar Shield out a little bit. I'll figure that out for a second. It's been a little over 3 hours since I picked up this camera last. I got the 95 over here. Pa came by and we just kind of hung out and moved some cars around. But for the last several hours, I've been doing this. Actually, let me turn off the lights so you guys can check it out. I'm big into ambient lighting. That's why we have the PaFur sign, and I don't know if you've ever seen, but we got nice lights underneath the screen. Purple and gold for the Vikings. We can change it to whatever we want. But I added this one. Probably can't really tell. Check this out. A nice rope light underneath the lifts. And yeah, I can change this to whatever color I want. So if it's like Halloween or something, just the Philips Hue lights. So you can change it to whatever you wanted. Like Halloween parties, you can do orange or something. Yeah, that was kind of cool. That took a little more than like 2.5 hours, 3 hours almost. We do have a appointment next week, Monday through probably Thursday or Friday, to have Solar Shield come back here and wrap a car. My plan was to do the 95 because this thing just needs it to keep her, but since I'm also keeping the old, what is that, 2001 C5 back there, I think we're going to do that one instead because this guy needs probably close to 10 hours of attention. We got this in several months ago and I haven't touched it since we got it. Just ran out of time, ran out of steam actually. And you can see here she is dirty. She needs to be polished. There's little scratches on her. This side needs to be painted if anything, if we want to. But this guy, I don't have the time today to get it done as I wanted to. This will have to be done at a later date. And since we have the appointment set already, not having the time to do that, figure I'm keeping the C5, might as well get this guy at least cleaned up. I don't think I need to polish it. It's pretty clean, but it needs to be washed at the minimum and brought over to the wash bay. So I think we'll do that. Alright, got it cleaned up. This one's ready for PPF now. I didn't find anything wrong or any flaws that haven't been corrected. If y'all remember right, I had the driver's side headlight cover, driver's side mirror, and I think passenger side rear fender. There's a little dingle right about here, repainted, so she is good to go. I did source a replacement top and I had it painted. I'm just gonna leave this one on there. If anybody knows anyone that wants a or needs a C5 silver already painted top, let me know. Make a comment down below. I paid about $1,200 for the top and then had it painted. It's good to go. It's clear coated. It just needs to have the seals installed and then put onto a car that'll use it. So that's available if anybody needs it. What do you guys think? She cleaned up nice. Something about silver Corvettes. C5 and C6 are my favorite generations Corvettes. They're just awesome looking. And super nostalgic on the inside. Yeah, they're just really sweet. Once I have more time, I'll get this guy washed and polished up. I think this will turn out really well. Take off some of those old stickers and stuff. Actually, no. Yeah, take off that one. Leave that one. That's part of the kit. Hope you guys enjoyed that quick little wash. hope you guys all feel me too on keeping these cars in the stable in the collection. I worked way too hard, spent way too much time, and have way too much invested into them to just let them go for something, as I don't want to say is generic, but as easily obtainable as like a Bentley or anything else really. I mean, look at this look right here. Isn't that just badass? And then you got these ones over here too. Yeah, sweet. All right, y'all. 2 more videos coming up in the near future. My replacement for the Hummer EV and Pa's replacement for that McLaren Artura. I'm not gonna yet say what it is, but it's really badass. So on this video here, as always, I do appreciate watching, and see you in the next one. Thanks.